Tonight, a shakeup inside one of the nation's most important vaccine panels is raising alarms from a former United States Surgeon General who warns it could set a dangerous precedent. Here's what's happening and why it matters. First, the panel itself. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, or ACIP, is the small group of infectious disease specialists, pediatricians, and public health experts that decides when and how vaccines should be used in the United States. If ACIP says a shot belongs on the childhood schedule, every pediatrician in America follows that guidance, and most insurers cover it. In short, ACIP's word quickly becomes the country's vaccination playbook. This year, the committee's membership is undergoing significant changes. Several seasoned scientists have been replaced by newcomers. Some have openly questioned vaccine safety, testified against vaccine makers in court, or shared conspiracy-tinged posts online. There's also an emergency room physician appointed who has faced backlash for Islamophobic tweets. Driving the overhaul is a new White House Commission on Vaccine Safety, led by Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., stating a fact-neutral tone. A high-profile skeptic who for years has argued, contrary to overwhelming research, that routine childhood shots are linked to chronic illness, emphasizing skepticism a bit critical. That connection is exactly what worries Dr. Jerome Adams, the Surgeon General under former President Trump. Adams broke his silence this week, saying the firings and fresh appointments looks like a purge designed to bend science to politics. He warned that once you open the door to ideological litmus tests, every future administration will feel free to do the same. Public health leaders across the spectrum echoed him. The American Academy of Pediatrics called the shakeup deeply troubling. An editorial in The Atlantic faulted Senator Bill Cassidy, himself a physician, for not pushing back harder on the Kennedy Commission. Even the New York Post's conservative opinion pages cautioned that giving RFK Jr. a megaphone could undermine the broader reform agenda. Why does this matter outside the Beltway? Because vaccine confidence is fragile. When people worry that scientific advice is politically rigged, vaccination rates slip and old diseases return. We've seen it before. Measles outbreaks in communities where misinformation spread faster than the virus itself. If ASIP's recommendations start to look like partisan talking points, polls suggest millions of parents could hesitate or refuse shots for their kids. For now, nothing on the schedule has changed. New members must still weigh published data, listen to public testimony, and vote in open meetings. But insiders say the tone is already different. Instead of debating the best timing for the RSV shot, they're fielding basic questions about whether long-use vaccines are even safe. That, critics argue, drags the panel away from forward-looking science and into déjà vu arguments settled years ago. Supporters of the overhaul insist fresh perspectives are healthy, that dissent can expose blind spots in the system. They note that ACIP's recommendations are not legally binding, and states can pick and choose which ones to follow. Still, Dr. Adams says the risk isn't a single vote on a single shot. It's the signal being sent. If experts with decades of experience can be replaced overnight because they refuse to parrot a political line, he said, what stops the next administration from doing the same on opioids, on cancer screening, on any issue where science is inconvenient? Bottom line, the new ACIP roster hasn't rewritten America's vaccine playbook. At least, not yet. But the battle lines are drawn, and the experience of the last decade shows how quickly public faith can erode. Whether you're a parent, a patient, or just someone who likes the idea of living in a measles-free society, the makeup of an obscure advisory board suddenly matters a great deal. We'll stay on it and keep you updated.